I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to advise everyone that's in attendance, this meeting is being recorded. Is there anyone else recording this meeting? There being no one, join me with the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we're giving our presenters a little time to get the technical aspects worked out, I'll entertain a motion to accept the regular session minutes for May 1st, 2013 and May 7th, 2013.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Aye. It is a vote. We'll now move on to our student representative report.
With the year winding down, we've got quite a few things going on. So, quite a few things in our music department too. This Friday and Saturday at 7 o'clock, the middle school play is going on at the high school, which will be a performance of Grace. So hopefully that'll be fun. And then also on Friday at 7 o'clock, hosted by the Rocket to Rockets, our spring fling dance with a Hawaiian luau theme for high school students there. Monday at 7 o'clock at the high school is the spring chorus concert. And Wednesday, respectively, it's the band concert at 7 o'clock, which will be sad because it'll be the last concert for many of us seniors there. And then next Thursday, the 23rd at 7 o'clock is the National Honor Society induction ceremonies for new inductees, myself included.
The teacher appreciation breakfast last Thursday went successfully, held by student council. The prom went successfully as well at the Sheridan last Saturday. Most of the AP tests for the courses that we offer are finally over. The Invisible Children were hosting a hat sale with gently washed hats for $5 at lunch and after school. Tomorrow is a field trip to New York City for the science, for a couple of science classes. Seniors' last day is, including finals, is next Thursday on May 23rd, same night of the NHS induction. And then that following Monday is Memorial Day, which is off for the freshmen through juniors. The senior class trip to Maine whitewater rafting is that Tuesday on May 28th. And then graduation for seniors is on May 31st at 6:30 p.m.
A lot going on. Thank you very much. Did you want to move on, do some of these special recognitions?
Sure. That would be great. So the first recognition that we'll do is actually, I'm going to take them out of order if that's okay.
Yes.
The first one is the Life Care Center presented a topic and asked middle school students to submit an essay in response to it. And the topic was a special senior person in my life. And the students in grades 6 through 8 submitted, and there were some rules regarding the number of words that could be submitted. There were a number, all of the students submitted them, and the middle school actually went through and selected finalists that they presented to the Life Care Center. So I'd like to read the names of the finalists first and then introduce the winner of this contest and tell you a little bit about that. So the finalists were Danielle Williams, Nora LeBlanc, Luke Matthews, Molly Cutting, Isabel O'Toole, Giovanni Longo, Joseph DeRocha, Danya Tang, Maggie Grogan, Sydney Dinsdale, Kelsey Malba, Angela DiTomaso, Gina Endres, and Lindsay Berthium. But the one who was selected as the winner overall is with us tonight, and that is Anna Petrowitz, who wrote a story that she titled Hope about her grandmother. So if Anna could come to the podium maybe, and if anyone has any questions for her, she did an outstanding job with the story that she wrote, and certainly very heartfelt about her grandmother.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any comments?
Just that it's a lovely essay. It's a very nice essay. So I wish your grandmother the best.
Thank you very much.
I think you did a very good job on it. I don't know if you want to read it, but you don't have to. But you did very well.
Thank you.
I also too. I mean, I think it's beautiful, and
Yeah.
And looking at it, reading it, I think it really gives us all hope, and it was very inspirational. I'm sure you've shared it with her and how so proud she is of you. So thank you for sharing it with us. Definitely a winning essay.
Would you like to read it?
No,
You're all set. Well, we're all very proud of you.
Thank you.
You make the whole district very proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
Great.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Anna.
Did you want to move to the football?
Sure, yes. So, Mr. Cormier, at the high school, also the football coach made me aware of a couple of recognitions, and truly this is one of mine, and I would suspect one of yours as well, things to do, which is recognizing students for their achievements. So first we have Drew Goodrich, a senior, who is a 3-sport student athlete, will be honored this weekend by the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame as the MVP for the Super Bowl game this past December. Drew will also be honored by Charter on Monday as one of their top 10 scholarship recipients. Drew is ranked 2nd in his class and will attend Massachusetts College of Pharmacy in the fall. And then secondly, Jordan Jampa, also a 3-sport athlete, will be awarded a scholarship by the National Football Foundation and the College Hall of Fame as well. Jordan will receive the scholarship for both his football and academic accomplishments. Jordan may also be selected as the representative for Central Massachusetts at the National Convention later this year. Jordan is ranked 35th in his class and will play football at Amherst College this fall. Both student athletes are members of the Auburn High School National Honor Society, and I extend congratulations to them and thank Coach Cormier for bringing those to our attention.
That's great.
And then the last recognition, of which I'd like to make you aware, we have in attendance with us this evening Ms. Ginny Bailey, who is our music instructor extraordinaire up at the high school. And you had approved a trip for her to take with some of her senior band members to Chicago, Illinois. And it was an extremely successful trip, and we asked Ginny to come and share something about the trip with us. She will indicate to you how many compliments were received by the students for their behavior as well as for their musical abilities. With the jazz band having received an excellent rating in 2nd place, and the concert band receiving an excellent rating in 1st place in their division, as well as earning 2nd place overall. So I certainly extend, and I'm sure you join me in extending congratulations to Ms. Bailey. So if she's willing to come up and share. Okay, we also have 2 students with us here. We have Mr. Lear and Shaylee Brooks with us, who were on the trip, and we sent letters of congratulations to all. So, and Brendan was on the trip as well. Excellent. So if you want to come to the podium and just share.
So first of all, thank you again for giving us the opportunity to travel. The band students had a great time on the trip. I had a great time on the trip. The students were really commended for their excellent behavior. Especially the hotel staff said that they had not seen a student group behave so well, and if all student groups were like that, they would gladly welcome them to their hotel. And these were hotels that are in airports, so they're very busy. We received a compliment from one of the adults on the floor saying, wow, I would never have known that there were high school students in the hall when they saw us all checking out. So that's a testament to their great behavior on the trip. Obviously, musically, they performed very well in their competition. Hopefully, if our slideshow works, we have a few highlights that were put together by sophomore Ed Lindham that we'd like to share with you about some of the things that we saw on the trip. I don't know how to get the projector to switch out of this mode, but I think it's showing the proper icons, so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Does this? We have to find a different source.
It's not.
Not really sure. It's thinking. There's an hourglass. So while we're waiting for that, we'd be happy to entertain any questions, either myself or Eric Lear, who's one of our seniors on the trip, Shaylee, sophomore, or Brendan. Okay, here's...
Does anyone have any specific questions?
Did
No,
the,
we'd just like to hear more of the trip.
did the entire band go, or was it just,
We had
certain students?
about 50 to 60%. We had 42 students attend. So that was great. We had a really balanced ensemble for it. So, some students opted not to go just with, missing 4 days of school is a little overwhelming for some of them. Many of the students did homework on the bus. We had some dedicated quiet time for them to complete their assignments. We also had Wi-Fi available on the bus, so the students could send assignments. Some teachers posted homework daily, so the kids were able to check in at the hotel, get their assignments done that way. So they didn't miss too much in terms of that. But, other students had work commitments or family commitments that also prohibited them from going. But, the music department and our Friends from Auburn Music Education supported a couple students who financially had some difficulties going. We had a couple scholarships for those students. They're doing work study, doing some music filing. So we were able to offset the cost for those students, which was really great. So that no one, couldn't go who wanted to go
I think that's great.
on the trip. It was jam-packed. We went to the Chicago Field Museum, which has tremendous exhibits in Dinosaurs, yes. We went to the John Hancock Observatory, the second tallest building, Sears Tower being a little bit higher. It was cold and cloudy, but we kind of felt like we were in a little city on the clouds up there. We did a driving tour of Chicago, so all of the great parks that they have. Went to the aquarium, went to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, had a pre-concert lecture there. I don't know how to opt out of this menu to that. I don't know if it's appropriate to bring the laptop up to see some of the highlights, but.
If I may, through the chair, perhaps what we could do is take a copy from you, and then we'll make sure and show it. We actually have another meeting next week, so we'll be sure to put it on the agenda and show it to them.
Great. What were some of your favorites?
There you go.
Oh, I loved the orchestra concert. For me, anything like that, I don't get out a lot to see orchestras, so it's a treat. It's like musical chocolate. we went to Ghirardelli's the same day, so I was eating a lot of chocolate. The lecture was great.
I thought the orchestra hall was really interesting because where we were sitting would be the concert hall equivalent of the nosebleeds for Gillette Stadium. So it was cool. No words.
Yes.
Of the seniors, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, go ahead.
No, you can ask some questions. It's all right.
No, go on, go
All
ahead.
right. Well, I enjoyed the trip overall. All the sightseeing was really cool, but I personally enjoyed the competition the most. No offense to the rest of the band, I didn't expect us to get such a good, positive feedback from the judges, and honestly I thought we did really well, and it was uplifting considering the circumstances and all.
So the two seniors, are you planning to do anything musically going forward with college?
Yes. I'm not majoring in anything music, but I'm hoping to have a minor or take some classes or join a few ensembles around campus. I definitely want to stay involved with that.
And what instrument do you play?
I play trumpet.
Trumpet.
Trumpet? And are you going to pursue music?
Going forward to Siena College, they're noted for their Division I basketball, and I've already made contacts in the pep band there, so I'll be sure to play at their games.
Excellent.
And if I may, through the chair, how many other teams were there or communities that were involved, or roughly, do you?
There were over 700 students involved in the competitions. A lot from Illinois, but also some from Pennsylvania. I think there was a group from California that had come out over that weekend. So in our particular festival, there were over 700 students that competed. I think probably 15 or 16 different ensembles.
And when you go and you listen to the orchestra play, do you feel like if you know how to play an instrument, you can enjoy the music so much more because you can identify the instruments and whatnot? I know that's what my kids have always said, is that you can really enjoy something so much more. Mrs. Bailey, you do a wonderful job, and it did not surprise me at all that you got such wonderful awards, because that you do a great job. The kids are obviously receptive to you, and I can't say enough about the program. It's such a great program.
Thank you. We'd also like to say thank you very much for our new marching band uniforms. We're tremendously excited to begin that journey. So all of the students were fitted this past Monday, and uniforms have been ordered with an estimated delivery date of October 1st. So we look forward to having them for our homecoming game this year.
So the sophomore up there, what do they look like?
I believe it's black pants. I don't know if there's a pinstripe going down the side, but it's one sleeve is black and it's like blue and silver, and it comes down and there's a nice silver A on the side. And I'm not sure what kind of hats we're getting.
The Cavaliers.
Oh, we're getting like cowboy hats with big blue feathers.
Oh, neat.
They're a lot more flattering than most high school marching band uniforms. It's really, really relaxing.
Well, I'd also like to thank you too. It makes it really easy for us to support projects like this when we see such positive feedback coming from not just the teacher and the instructor, but also from the students. So I thank you for coming in tonight, and I thank you, as Liz stated, for taking on such a large trip, obviously enriching our students.
Thank you.
And I did see a sneak peek of the uniforms Ms. Bailey showed me at the Rotary Breakfast, and they are very professional and very sleek indeed. Looking forward to having the kids wear them.
And they're breathable. They're made with Under Armour. So they won't get stinky, smelly. They can be washed.
Yeah.
Stay nice and warm.
Yeah.
But also nice for Memorial Day when, it could be 50 or 95.
Right.
Boy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank you
much.
again.
Thank you.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. We'll
Thank
leave
you,
the
too.
DVD here for you to
That'd be
view
great.
at your convenience.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Through the chair, if I can just make a comment. I am really proud of our students. It seems like every field trip that they take, overnight trips and things, there's always this positive feedback on how well behaved they are, and how employees at hotels and restaurants and airports and everybody are always commending on their behavior, and that is just such a huge compliment to teachers, parents, and just how important it is when you're out there, representing the town of Auburn, that they're behaving in an acceptable way. And I just think that's just a great thing. And like Jeff said, it makes our job so much easier to be able to approve trips like this, because we don't have issues. And so I think we're very, very fortunate in that aspect. So I think that's great.
Moving on to citizens' concerns and comments, are there any? There being none, we can move now to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the first item, we actually have a number of recognitions this evening, which makes it extra special. We also do have 4 people with us this evening. Back in the fall at some point, I had been contacted about, or it was even actually last year, about getting involved in a mini Relay for Life. And as you know, we share with you regularly that the students across our schools participate in community events, and we believe in giving back to our community and to the broader community who helps to serve us so well. So tonight with us we have Marjorie Craver, Allie Donahue, Tammy Bailey, and John Bastian, who are here, who took on the challenge of bringing a mini Relay for Life to the high school. It's a combined effort between the high school and the middle school, and will take place on June 14th. So with your permission, I will turn it over to the 4 of them, and they did provide us packets of information at our seats as well.
Good evening. We'd first like to thank Dr. Brunel for inviting us this evening. So if you would like to refer to the folder here. So my name's Marjorie Craver. I'm a science teacher at the high school. This is Allie Donahue. I'm a health and physical education teacher at the high school. Tammy Bailey, I'm a social studies teacher at the middle school. And then John Bastian, a math teacher at the middle school. So we are very excited to share some information about the mini Relay for Life we will be hosting at the high school on June 14th, as Dr. Brunel mentioned. So a Relay for Life is put on by the American Cancer Society and is an event to help fundraise for cancer research and cancer awareness. So during the relay, we remember those who have unfortunately lost their battle to cancer, and it's also a moment to support those who are currently fighting cancer.
It is a time for cancer survivors, families, and participants to celebrate what they've overcome. So with that being said, on June 14th, all of the high school students and all of the middle school students will participate in relay activities during the school day. So our mini Relay for Life will start at 7:30 a.m. and it will continue until 10 p.m. So during the school day, as I mentioned, all participants, all high school students, middle school students will participate. After dismissal time at 2 o'clock, those who have signed up to be on a team for the relay will stay and participate in relay activities until 10 p.m. So the Relay for Life is traditionally a 24-hour event. As you may know, there's a community event that takes place in September, I do believe. So what the difference is between a Relay for Life, a 24-hour event, and our mini is that it just simply is not overnight. So we still will have the staples of a Relay for Life, our opening ceremony, the closing ceremony, a luminaria ceremony, but it just will not be overnight. So at this moment, we are still asking for chaperones to participate and/or volunteers. So in your packet, you will find on the back of the day schedule our contact information that if you'd like to share with others, that would be wonderful. And also you will see, that is a very broad daily planned activities of the day. There's more details, but I felt if there are more questions to it, we can elaborate, but I felt like we didn't have to share all of it. But we'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you do have of the day. And we'd like to thank you again for supporting us. We're very, very excited for this.
Are there any questions? Yes.
How many volunteers are you looking for, and how will the Corey process work for that?
Good question. So we are looking for as many as that are available. So we are trying, and we're shooting to do the 10-to-1 ratio to do an in-school field trip. So there will be a permission slip that will be sent home in the next week to 2 weeks, requesting chaperones, requesting those volunteer process, and they will go through the normal Corey check. So on that permission slip, it will explain that they do need to go get Coreyed, to come and get Coreyed, and we're asking that to be done by May 30th.
Okay. If someone at home is watching and they want to volunteer and they may not have the permission slip, they just go to the high school, to the main office.
Yes, they can go to the high school, call the high school and ask, or the middle school, or they could certainly call over here and we can direct them to it as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Information is also on the Auburn High School webpage. There's a Relay for Life link at the bottom.
Yes, Liz.
To be a volunteer, do you have to be a citizen in Auburn? Do you have to live in Auburn?
We are requesting that we keep it Auburn-based, but that, I guess, would be on an individual basis.
Just another couple pieces of information. So when the middle school students come down, not all students may opt to raise money. So instead it would be like their spree day activity, so a nice transition activity between the middle school and high school. There are already a number of teams who have registered for this, and we did include it in our most recent email notification that went home to families. Unfortunately, the link was to Auburn, Alabama, was it, instead of Auburn?
You don't need to mention that.
So, well, no, just in case anyone clicked it and saw that. So we'll be sending home another one soon, and there will be the link there for people to actually sign up. But the more, the merrier. But we are trying to keep it contained just in this first year to Auburn, and only students and staff will be there for the school day portion, with it opening up more as we would typically for a community event beyond that.
Because people from Alabama may show up.
Right.
That's true. Yes.
We do apologize about that.
No, that's quite
They can always, send a donation, right?
Correct.
Well, I thank all of you again for stepping up to do this. I think it's a great activity, and really shows our students, again, just reinforces the message about giving back.
I too. It's very close to my heart, this event that you're talking about, the 24-hour. So I'll probably be researching this, and I'd love to volunteer and help in any way I could on the 14th.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Same with me, I'm gonna volunteer too.
Okay.
I think it's a great cause, and I know we do it in town at the Lemansky Park every year, but it's a very, very worthy cause, and it's nice of you to pick up the ball and run with this because it is such a big thing.
And I agree, it touches all of us. And I know, Anna, your letter tonight, to come back to that, is a prime example of how things that affect our families and cancer touches us all. So I commend you for taking on the project, and I look forward to participating.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ask anybody if they want to go.
If everyone would like to go, you don't have to stay. But I thank you
See ya.
for coming to me. Stay, except
Thank you very much.
Except for the crew up here.
except for the committee.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
See you on the 14th.
Hi, Rita. Hi.
Good night.
Good night, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Good night. So we move on to the donations.
Great. We have a couple of donations that I would ask to approve and accept them. Mr. Cormier, again from the high school social studies teacher, informed me that the Auburn Police Association has voted in favor of paying for transportation. His class, along with Officer Kennedy, will visit the Worcester County House of Correction. It's their criminal justice class. So the Auburn Police Association has donated $220 for that effort, and I would recommend that you approve it with gratitude.
Make that motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, just a quick question. Dr. Burnell, do you know exactly what they'll be doing? I mean, will they be exposed to the inmates that are there? And, I mean, it's not like a Scared Straight program or something?
It is
it,
not.
or-
It is not. It's a program actually that other schools do, and they go and they talk to the kids about, obviously, the criminal justice system, but it is not intended to be a Scared Straight program like that.
Okay, so are they basically talking to the correction officers that work at the facility, or are they touring the facility? I mean, I'm just trying to get an understanding as to,
I would get you the details on that.
okay,
I
I'm
will
just
get you the details on
wondering if
that.
they're walking
Okay.
through the facility, or if they're going to a
It's
room.
a tour of the facility. I've been on it before.
Oh, okay.
It's very appropriate. Occasionally you may have, someone may make a comment, or something of that
Yeah.
nature. But these are high school seniors for the most part, juniors, and it's very safe.
Yeah.
There's no issues. But
Okay.
it's just a tour of, the correctional facility of, that type of area of law enforcement in conjunction with his curriculum class.
Okay, and so is there like people that talk to them about the career and about what they're doing?
All
and-
that is discussed.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, I've been a part of these, that there is some,
Inside
I visited with my students.
Oh.
There is some contact, typically, and the inmates will speak. It's, in my experience, unless this is a different tour, then
No, exactly what you're saying. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next donation, Mr. Lionel Berthium, on behalf of the Worcester Rugby Club, has made a donation in the amount of $250 to the Auburn High Athletic Gift Account.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote.
We do have this evening for you the cafeteria workers contract that you have already approved and they have signed off on. So we do have copies. I've just put it on the agenda here for you, but copies for you to sign, which you can certainly do later in the meeting if you so wish. But you will need to take a vote to approve it.
I'll make that motion to approve it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote.
I'd just like, one thing I'd like to say, I'd like to thank the superintendent for the help on the contract. She was very helpful and it worked out very well.
Thank you.
And we can move on to the,
So we have a couple of scholarship announcements, the first one being the Auburn Chamber of Commerce. I was able to attend this breakfast reception that they had recently in recognition of these students. So the first one, they gave this year a $2,000 scholarship, a first annual one in memory of Major David Brodeur Memorial Scholarship, in the amount of $2,000, and that went to Nicole Sarkeesian. There was also a $2,000 Stephen Lucas Memorial Scholarship. That one going to Luke Thunberg. In terms of $1,000 scholarships, those were received by Rita Bonin, Olivia El Said, Gabriella Laurie, Erin Scanlon, and Michael Vicunis, with Nicole Berthium, daughter of Lionel Berthium, receiving a $1,000 chamber member scholarship. And I would just like to, as I said in my few words that I stated at that meeting, at that breakfast award ceremony, how greatly appreciative we are of the money that the Chamber raises and gives back, not only to our students through these tremendous scholarships, but also to our staff through the grants program that they offer every fall. The Municipal Scholarship Committee is very pleased to announce this year we actually brought forward a committee. We had been looking, as you may know, for several years to actually constitute this scholarship committee. Those who served on it, we had Jerry DeLongchamp as chairperson, Amy Faber, Deb Kozik, Jean Benoit, and myself, which is required to be a superintendent representative on there, as well as community members. And we worked throughout the fall and in through this winter in terms of setting the criteria, the application process, and then we're fortunate to have 11 applications, I believe, that came through. It was 11 or 12. And the recipient this year is Corey DuPont. And I will tell you on behalf of the Municipal Scholarship team, it was very challenging to select a winner. Corey is most deserving of this $1,000 scholarship, but the other students who applied were likewise. We really have some fantastic students that not only achieve greatly in terms of academically, but also in terms of their community service, the clubs that they belong to, athletics, extracurriculars, really do a tremendous job. And I would also just like to remind the residents that the money received from the Municipal Scholarship Fund actually comes from taxpayers' donations that they can make right on their tax bill. They can make a donation amount in any amount that they would like, and it goes into this trust fund that is used to support students for scholarships. So Corey being most deserving. The next item to make you aware of, again staying with our theme of student recognitions, the Auburn Webster Lodge of Elks. They held recently a drug awareness essay and poster contest for our 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students. The theme of the contest was "The Choice for Me is Drug-Free." 4th and 5th graders were eligible for the poster contest and 6th graders for the essay contest. So I would like to thank Mrs. Dio at Packagug, Ms. Cronin at Julia Bancroft, and Ms. Cannell and Mrs. Young at Auburn Middle School for their help in coordinating this with Mr. Bob Wambach of the Elks. So to recognize the students who received these honors for Auburn Middle School, the essay contest, first place went to Leah Healy, second place went to Autumn Dowsk, third place went to Ariel Cologne. The Packagug 5th grade poster winners, first place went to Haley Norris, second place to Coleman Picard, and third place to Ashley Fazio. And the Julia Bancroft 4th grade poster winners, first place was Tabitha Boyso, second place was Maya McKean, and third place to Emma Martin. So I wish congratulations to each of them for a job especially well done.
Moving now on to the audit update, and this was actually on our last meeting agenda, but I wanted to have the whole committee here to discuss this. So if you wanted to give us an update on this.
Sure. So I reached out to several firms in order to get prices for you. As you know, Mr. Dede actually officially leaves us May 31st, although he is no longer with us using vacation and other time currently. Mr. Gray will join us on July 1st. So I was able to secure 2 written proposals. The first one from MASBO for $4,950, which is the Massachusetts Association of School Business Officials. And a second proposal came from Powers and Sullivan in the amount of $22,500. Now, a third firm that I contacted gave a verbal quote and said they would put it in writing if need be, and I said I would bring it forward, indicated that the cost would be well over $10,000. I do just want to remind you, as noted here, that Scanlon and Associates, and they're the firm, the auditing firm that has been doing the books here, at least in the 5 years I've been as superintendent, and I believe much longer, it's the same with the town. Those reports having been shared, but we also had the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed. This seems to be our year for audits with DESE. They've come in for our coordinated program review, our ELL, they come in for the business office. They've been here recently regarding our cafeteria funding and such, all having gotten great reviews, but we're also here as well. So I share this information with you for your discussion.
Did you say $4,500 and then it went to $22,000?
$4,950 was one price. The second price was $22,500. And the third price, which was the verbal quote, what they would state to me is it would be well over $10,000.
Why such a big discrepancy? I don't get that.
Well, one is the Massachusetts Association of Business Officials.
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine that that comes
That's the
through,
reason
right,
why problem.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I know we had discussed with our business manager leaving and a new one coming on board, making sure that our books were in order. We have had several audits. Are you comfortable with those audits, or do you recommend that we have another outside vendor come in and take a look?
Sure, so I actually, when this request first came through, I checked with area superintendents to say, have you done this when there's been a transition? And what several indicated that they've typically seen it when a treasurer, especially with the town, or if in a regional district, a treasurer, that they oftentimes will do that with direct monies being involved. Most indicated they had not, although a couple said it's probably a good practice. I asked the same question to the three companies with whom I spoke. And it was a gentleman, John Crafton from Masbo, who indicated that yes, he has seen this and has done these previously. It's called a financial review audit. The company, Melanson and Heath, who gave the verbal quote only, said to me, and I appreciated their candidness, that with the audits that we had in place, they were not going to give us anything more than what we'd gotten between Scanlon for the regular audit, Scanlon for student activities, and DESE having come in. The gentleman I spoke with from Powers and Sullivan, John Sullivan, indicated he has seen this done before. It's not done tremendously regularly, but could be a good practice.
So I guess my question to the committee is this something that we want to undertake? It's a substantial amount of money, even the $5,000, ASBO. But if that's the will of the committee to have another outside audit done.
I personally agree with you, Jeff, that it's a lot of money, but I think Mrs. Gribbins had made a good point. I think it's a practice that we should put in place.
I agree,
I
and
mean,
I agree.
I just think
Yeah.
it should, but Liz, you were the one that kind of really
Yeah,
brought this up to begin with.
I don't know that I'd go with the highest bids. I could see going with the
$4,000.
Right.
$4,950 one.
Yeah.
I guess I'd like to know if they're gonna do any more than what, I mean, if they're not gonna do any more than what we've already had, then I guess it's really not. I just, everybody needs to feel comfortable with the transition. And I don't know if this will give us a level of comfort
Sure.
that we wouldn't have.
I will, because I asked those probing questions to these firms, and what one of them indicated to me was that based on the audits that we'd had done to date, everything is always, we generate warrants here that are done with town as well, and oversight from the town hall, and obviously with Mr. Kazanovich's office, that recommended that better to wait until the new business manager came on board, and that if he had any concerns about things, and I will state for the record, I have no concerns about the operations that have been running, and I don't believe either do you. One of the firms indicated they would basically come in and do the audits that had already been done, and he said, if you're looking for someone to come in and say, and look at the books and say, this is the exact amount of money you have here and there, he said, that's what your audits have already done. We won't be doing any more than that. The third firm that I found to be tremendously candid, and that was the middle priced firm. So I would be comfortable in foregoing this, assuming the committee is, at this time, and leave it to when Mr. Gray arrives, if he has any concerns, that we could obviously bring this back forward.
When was the last audit done? The date?
The most recent one that was just reported out at the May 1st meeting, actually, we had gotten the report on that just that night, just that day. So earlier on, it was completed sometime in April. That was a student activity account report. The full audit that's conducted annually by Scanlon and Associates, that was reported, I believe, probably sometime in early March. That was conducted, I believe, in February. And the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed, seems they were here at sometime either in December or January, with copies of their findings provided.
George?
Through the chair. I wouldn't mind holding off on this only because we may, I hate to say it, but we could be without our new business manager in 6 months, and we'd be in the same boat where we're uncomfortable and we want to try it again. I'm confident with the new business manager and with the process of hiring him, but he's new to us and I've seen stranger things happen. So if the concern is the transition, we could have another transition in a few short months. And as Dr. Brunel said, if we're only getting the same thing that we've already gotten May 1st, it was, then...
It was the most recent.
And I certainly agree with Liz and her concerns. And I'd love to start with a clean slate, but I just don't want to start with a clean slate now for $5,000 and then have to start with a clean slate again in 6 months should something go wrong.
Especially if they're basically saying they don't think they're going to be able to provide us with new information at this point, and we do have some recent audits. So I would agree to table it until Mr. Gray gets on board and we see how things go. And that is a very good point that you bring up, that we have a window, so to speak, the certifications, etc., that have to be met.
That's right, too. Certification.
So would you like that in the form of a motion, or do we just table it?
If you're going to table it, I would suggest you put it in a motion and that we could bring it back at a future meeting if that's the will of the committee.
Make that motion.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote. Summer program?
Several next items are really just to keep you up to date on happenings across the district. So summer programming, as we typically do, we'll have an elementary remedial program that will run the weeks of July 15th, 22nd, 29th, and the 5th of August, as well as the middle school will run the 1-week STEM camp that I had mentioned at town meeting around the engineering design process and scientific methods. That will be the week of July 29th. With the high school running their credit recovery program, that's a self-supporting program, starting in July 1st through July 31st, except for the 4th of July and the 5th of July. And we did include for you a partial listing, I should say, of colleges and universities to which our students have been accepted. To date, this listing I anticipate will grow fairly substantially if it stays in line with previous years. But once again, we have some prestigious colleges and universities that are listed here that speak to our students' commitment as well as, I hope, our overall educational program. In terms of the hiring update, with the budget having been passed at the last week's town meeting, we have begun posting positions. First, we looked for any internal transfers that I really encourage among the Teachers Association to move about, and we have had some of those, with the others being posted on School Spring. So at an upcoming meeting, I would anticipate probably the early June meeting, if not the June 19th, will provide a full update to you. And then in terms of school choice, those random drawings have been made. We have accepted the number that you have approved in terms of that. So in total, it's 15 at the middle school and 26 at the high school. which allowed us to offer 8 slots at each school. So it indicates there the actual placement, and you'll see that some of them are off somewhat because of sibling issues when they arrive. And Mrs. Zotner has the pleasure actually of calling the families to say that their names have been randomly selected, with some of them stating that this was the best day of their life, having gotten the news that they were accepted to either Auburn Middle or Auburn High School. We did include for you the number of students who were not offered slots, and as you can see, there remains tremendous interest in the Auburn Public Schools, and again, I think that speaks to the great work that I hope that I believe is taking place. So I've told you this is our year of audits, and we had one most recently on May 8th, an MCAS audit. Ms. Haig from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed came. They were doing random visits just to ensure that MCAS administration was going as it should, and came in and found that everything was being handled perfectly. So I was not surprised, but I certainly thank Mr. Gagnon, the guidance counselors, as well as the principals and staff across the district. There is very stringent criteria in terms of opening the MCAS, logging them, who can actually touch them, and things, so all of which is taken seriously, so I commend all for that.
Moving on to unfinished business.
Okay. The first item included in your packet, or perhaps not, were the proposed school committee dates for next year. We will email those to you. And these dates, I share them with you. We'll actually look for you to vote for them on May 22nd, our meeting next week for reorganization. But to share these with you, and we'll email them, as I said, for your advance review and consideration. They're very closely aligned to the meetings that we had this year, because we'll use those as well as the fine arts calendar dates and some other, obviously the holiday and school calendar schedule as the basis of us building all other events around those. So we'll send those to you and vote at our upcoming meeting. The next item is the letter that you had requested be drafted and sent to State Auditor Suzanne Bump. This letter being in support and thanking her for her advocacy around her expectation that there be funding to implement the Chapter 222 of the Acts of 2012, an act relative to students' access to educational services and exclusion. Basically, that for students, in recognition that we need to educate our students, that doing some will come at a cost. So if you are in agreement with the letter, I do have the original here, there, perfect, that you can all sign, or if you want any edits there too, I'd be happy to make them.
I'm fine with the letter it's written.
I'll
Okay.
pass it down for your signature.
In terms of superintendent's evaluation, Chairperson Lori will be compiling those once they are submitted to him, with the school building committee update being just tremendously thankful to the town meeting members for their overwhelming support of the middle school project. As we know, it goes to the voters via ballot vote on Tuesday, May 21st. The polls will be open from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and certainly seek the support of the Auburn voters for a project that I think we all agree is most worthy and needed for the Auburn Public Schools, and most especially for our students.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I also wanted to just thank the town meeting members for voting on that and allowing the community as a whole to vote on the topic, so I wanted to make that clear. Thank you very much.
I agree wholeheartedly.
It was
And-
great to see the amount of support.
Yes.
It was.
And I'll also say, in regards to the superintendent evaluation, if you want to call me, those that don't have your evaluations ready yet, and I can meet up with you to gather the information so I can start collecting the data and putting it together for a future meeting. Moving on to new business.
Long list of events taking place. Obviously, we've got our Memorial Day programs upcoming, which are always a special events to watch. The students did mention the Grease Play, which is this weekend at Auburn High School. performed by the middle school students. They've got jogathons, there is spring chorus, and band concerts coming up. We've mentioned the town election. And already tomorrow night, the Bryn Mawr and Mary D will be having incoming kindergarten parent information sessions for the students who will be joining us come the fall. So an exciting time, which will culminate for our seniors on May, and their families, I should say, on May 31st. So just a reminder that graduation will be at 6:30 in the gymnasium.
And I'd also like to, just to put out on the new business, I have received some calls in regards to questions concerning the middle school project, and exactly what, Leanne, what you said is perfect. We want the voters to have as much information as possible to make a decision when they walk into the voting booth. So I'm asking everyone that's listening, if you have any questions, you can email me at the letter J Laurie, L-O-U-R-I-E, at auburn.k12.ma.us, or my personal email, the letter J Laurie, L-O-U-R-I-E, at charter.net. I'll be more than happy to speak with you face-to-face, via the phone call, or email if anyone has any questions, and hope that people do come out the 21st to vote. Yes, Wayne?
I'd just like to say that goes for me too. You can call me anytime and ask me any questions. I think that's likewise with all the committee here, that are willing to answer anybody's questions that need to be answered or helpful. We're not here to tell you which way to vote, or not, and we're just here to inform you the best we can, so when you do go to the booth, you will understand the project a lot more and a lot better, and you can understand it as residents of the town. Thank you.
Moving on, unless anyone else has anything of new business, moving on to the business and financial report.
Great, thank you. Before you, and was actually a corrected copy for you, there are some transfers that I seek your approval on. Several of them, as you can see, actually don't require your approval, but we just included them all together here, so I do recommend that you approve this motion for the transfers.
I make a motion to approve the transfers from the 1000 series to the 2000 series and from the 2000 series to the 3000 series.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Hold on.
No.
One of them's got 4,000, a 4,000 series is on one of these.
That one actually doesn't require the
Okay.
approval because it's within
Okay.
series, but thank you.
Okay, all right, I'm fine, okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote. Moving on to policies.
There were several policies before you. The first one was put on the agenda as for the discussion. The first one being the field trips, and this came as a result of last time's meeting regarding the out-of-state or overnight field trip requests. There were numerous that came before you last meeting, so I share it with you for your discussion.
Okay, and what prompted this?
I saw the,
Oh,
I
okay.
actually saw the
Okay.
meeting.
Okay,
I saw the
Yes.
I saw the meeting, and what I thought was true is in fact true. School committee does not approve day trips. We only approve overnight and out-of-state field trips.
Mhm.
So I heard the discussion that perhaps ones that keep coming forward to us time after time, that we leave it to your discretion. However, it's the one that has a couple of field trips that always get approved because members don't feel that there's any issues. There's a couple of them that I do have issues with. So I feel that taking that out of our hands would not be appropriate.
I don't think I was looking to take it out of our hands. I was looking that for some of these that continue to come up, whether or not the administration needs to come in, is I think what I was trying to get at. Unless we thought that it was going to be an issue. I mean, there's a lot like the Pequot, museum. There's some of them that we just do every year, and but then Jeff had made a good point too. George is new. He may have a question on it. So I was just trying to see if there was some way to just kind of streamline the process a little bit, was all I was thinking. I'm fine, to
I
keep
think
things the
if
way
we,
they are. I was just trying to
if it's a day trip, that's a routine, I don't think it should have. come
Those
before,
currently
yeah.
don't, through the chair, those currently get my approval only. These would only be the overnight and out-of-state field trips that require, per your policy, school committee
I mean,
approval.
it's just like the Pequot Museum, it's almost
Well, it's out of
redundancy
state,
having them come.
so-
I know,
Yeah.
but I don't know if there's something we could do. But I understand what Liz is saying too, that,
I agree with Liz.
you know, especially like I say, you know, a new trip obviously would come before us. But, I mean, if that's the.
I'm fine to keep the policy. I just kind of felt bad that all these people had to come and we just kind of,
You know,
Ran through them all.
There's been times where people haven't been able to show up, and then we're sort of like, well, why didn't they show up? Because we had questions. So it's kind of unfair to say, this one don't show up for,
Yeah.
but this
Right.
one do show up for, and then if there are questions, then they look silly for not being here, and is there an explanation always that, well, we told them not to come? And I know it's an inconvenience, but I think it's something that unfortunately is a good practice. Kids are going overnight or they're going out of state. We should have questions about that. We should be able to ask anything that we need to ask. So
yeah, again, I'm fine with it. I was just trying to see if there was some way to just kind of alleviate some
I'm
of
fine with it,
the
so.
process, but I'm fine
You
with
need a
it the way
motion, or you
it
need
is.
it all said, or?
You don't need to make, if you're not making any change, you don't need a motion. It's already a policy.
Through the chair,
Wait a minute.
just one thing. Is it possible that, let's say, for instance, the Pequot Museum, we could get an early approval on that, they could put it in a month earlier, and if there were any questions, we could have them come in?
Rather than the previous year, you mean?
Rather
Than
than,
the previous year.
oh, we're already a year ahead of schedule, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want them to come in 2 years earlier. Keep it the way it is. That's fine.
We actually, because of the timelines with the out-of-state and overnight, they generally require, especially the overnight, quite honestly, a lot more preparation and planning and oftentimes coordination with travel companies. So we've just changed it over the past few years to have the majority of them, and actually Marjorie Craven was here tonight, she'll come to the next meeting to request one for New York City next year. We just try to cluster them together and make sure that our timelines are met.
So we now move on to students' fees and fines.
Is this second reading?
And second reading.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to
Okay.
approve JQ student fees, fines, and charges on second reading.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? All those in
Yeah,
favor?
this is the second reading?
It just is not noted on there, it was the May 1st, was the first reading.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next one I brought forward, the school choice policy, and this is something in terms of, I think it would make it, would streamline the process. We submit, or the school committee submits, the proposed budget to the town manager by the second Monday in January. The original school choice policy, and I noted these as track changes for your consideration. So at that point, when you're sending it forward, generally you've made a decision about school choice. We were getting numerous calls from families because in comparison with other local school districts, they do their school choice random drawing much earlier. So parents, some families were put in a position of perhaps being offered a position elsewhere. They may have wanted to come here. But we got numerous phone calls, probably within the last 3 to 4 weeks, all within the April, most of them within the month of April. So it is my recommendation that we move this up, basically moving everything up 1 month. It would give us more opportunity, I think, in terms of, especially for those students who are being selective in where they want to go, to be sure that we're offering them a slot, should you continue in this program, to get, we've been very fortunate to have outstanding school choice students join us.
Can I ask a question to that?
Yes.
So I understand your desire to make it easier, or to make it easier for a student coming here, but which way makes it better for us?
I actually, the sooner that we can know is better for us as well in terms of planning for next year, because even by, we say by May 1st, we drew them this year on, I believe it was May 6th, and notified them. Some of the schools actually had begun placement discussions at the April 29th half-day PD day. So with our calendar being very similar next year as it is this year, this will actually give us more time in terms of preparation as well.
And I believe we have one more policy.
Yes, so do you want to take them together?
Yes.
Okay. All right. The next policy, I made the updates as discussed at the May 1st meeting, noted those as track changes for you to see them, and I believe I hit all of the points that were requested.
I went over this prior to the meeting.
Okay.
So it looked good. If anyone has any questions, I'd entertain a motion and a second for discussion.
Are we doing all three of them? What are we doing? I'm sorry, I'm kind of
I would say
confused here.
the community use of school facility, lease or rent, the use of the high school facility is part of it.
Along with school choice, so all three?
That's two.
Okay.
Yeah, I would prefer that we do these separately.
You want to start with the school choice
I
then?
would, please, if you
Okay.
don't mind.
there-
I'll make the motion to approve JFBB school choice on first reading.
Second.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And now moving on to the community use of school facilities.
I'll make the motion to approve KF, KFA, and KFAB community and school use of facilities and fields on first reading.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Yeah, so let's look at this now. Yeah.
You would actually only be approving KF and KFAB.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
What did KFA, what was KFA?
I believe KFA may have been the actual fee schedule, which has not changed.
Oh, okay.
We can certainly bring it back to the next meeting.
It's basically what we voted on last meeting.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Well, since I wasn't here at the last meeting, was there a reason why we changed it from 14 to 21 days in advance?
Through the chair, that was actually part of my review, and it was in order to make it match. Later in this process, it says that it must be 3 weeks before, so it conflicted with the 14. So it was just to have those not conflict.
Is there any further discussion?
I have one other question. Applications for rental of fields will be made. It was the Parks Department, and now it will be at the AHS Athletic Office?
Correct. So, and that was in discussions with the town. This is actually a practice that we had put in place because we were getting, the parks would see it, they'd check with Billy and going back and forth. So went directly to Billy, and he oversees, Mr. Garno, I should say, oversees all of the athletic
So
complex.
Mr. Garno is in support of this and
Absolutely.
feels that he has the time to do that?
He
Okay.
has been doing this, yes. Correct.
Great.
Did we update the application to include the notification? I just didn't see a copy of the
Okay.
application, so I'm not sure. We were gonna make a point of putting down on the application what the requirements and how, I just wanted to know if that, is that part of this, or is it a separate
It's actually a separate document. It may even be KFA. I'll have to check and see. But I actually spoke with Mr. Garner, I think, to one of the points that was raised, and in terms of setting, so that way to not encourage or discourage a group, so would put in their application now for next spring. Mr. Garner doesn't allow that anyway. He accepts them and keeps them in a pile and then reviews them all together. He has great communication with all of our local organizations and is in regular contact with them, so he did not feel that was necessary to set timeframes on that, so I'm glad you brought that up.
No, I'm
Oh.
sorry, it wasn't the timeframes I was considering, I was talking about the order of which they can schedule.
The current athletic field form does not list that on it anyway. We refer to the policy, so even
Right, I
the-
think we had talked
Oh,
about
we-
putting it
yeah.
on the application
Okay,
though.
We
okay.
did, yeah.
So,
So that no one could come in and go, well, wait a minute, I put mine in before them, but we were gonna, I didn't know how busy,
100% off,
I didn't know how busy the
Sure.
application was, but
It's
we
quite-
wanted to put something in that said, you know, it's school use first, and then it's 100%, and then it's 50%, so that somebody
You're right.
couldn't come in and, you know, file a complaint that they put something in and then they got bumped because,
sure.
I mean, unless you know, you wanna hand them the policy when you hand them the application, that's fine. I just want whoever's applying for these to be able to be notified of how that scheduling order works.
I will, I'll review the application form and, if needed, I will include that on there or come back to you with the recommendation that we simply provide a copy of the policy. That way it's in
One
writing
way or
for
the other,
people.
Just so that
Sure.
you don't have someone coming back that might get bumped or something.
Have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote. Well, I will tell you, we do not have to go into executive session this
No.
evening, so I will entertain.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.